Good morning, Corpus, Christi, Coastal Bend, listeners worldwide. Welcome on in to another edition of the Sunday Sports Rush right here on News Talk KEYS 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. I am your host, your fearless sports leader with you on a Sunday morning. It is I, James Espinosa, joined alongside my best friend, co-host, producer of this show. It is Adin Ducker.
What's Gucci with it?
Whoa, we got a packed show for you today. It's episode number 136. And of course, we are presented by Crossroads Clinical Research. Shout out to Jerry Plemons and our good friends for sponsoring our show. Big show today. I need you guys to get in on the line right now, this instant. 361-882-5397. 361-882-5397. Text us. Do whatever you want. Get your sports takes in because today it's absolutely jam-packed. At 9:50, we look at the Lone Star Series showdown, the American League Championship Series between the Rangers and the Astros. It's going down tonight. Game 1. Aiden and I will do our best to break down that series and make an official prediction before tonight's Game 1. Now, I should preface this. I'm rocking all my Astros gear today. So I think you know where I might be leaning, but I like to keep it biased, or not biased. I like to keep it unbiased and objective.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do my best to do so because I do think the Rangers have a chance, and I'll tell you why they might have a chance coming up at 9:50.
Yeah, I'm not rocking any Astros gear. I am wearing a Lord of the Rings shirt, so that's still kind of the same thing.
Still kind of the same thing, exactly. 9:30, we got some college football to get into because the USC Trojans, I said last week that they were on the fraud alert list, and now today they got fraudulent charges pressed against them as they got demolished by Notre Dame last night. Got college football talk coming up at 9:30. At 9:20, we'll dive into some local 361 news in our 920 news segment. But right now, I have to start with this. I have to get this out the way because last Sunday night was one of the worst moments I've ever had as a Dallas Cowboys fan. And look, there's been many bad moments.
Every time we talk about a low moment in sports, I'm going to play Tupac Pain. Y'all are literally in pain right now.
I'm in pain. I'm still in pain. It took me a long time to get over what happened on Sunday night in Santa Clara against the San Francisco 49ers. 42-10. San Francisco demolishes the Cowboys. A pathetic showing from Dallas. Quite frankly, a dog-esque kind of show out there.
Didn't expect it. I thought since it was a regular season game, the Cowboys would play with less pressure on them. I thought they would come guns a-blazing, and it was a complete opposite. It was the 49ers that took it upon themselves to set the tone and be like, yeah, we're y'all's daddies, basically.
It was an absolute pathetic effort from a team and a quarterback that told us that they were, quote, ready for this and that they've been thinking about this since the last playoff loss. The Cowboys themselves put all that pressure on them. They circled this game on the calendar since the beginning of the season and said, that's the game. That's the litmus test. That's the game that's going to tell us if we're one of the big boys in the NFL. And you know what they did? They're not a big boy in the NFL. They went out there and they looked like a toddler who crapped his pants. That's what the Cowboys did. A historically bad performance from the Dallas Cowboys. Under 200 yards of total offense. 10 points scored. The last time and the only other time in Cowboys football history that they were held to under 200 yards total offense and 10 points or less happened in 2003 versus the Buccaneers and Bill Parcells' first ever season as the head coach of the Cowboys. This is how historically bad that was. Only twice it's happened like that. The Cowboys were 9. The Cowboys' 9 of their 11 drives were 3 plays or fewer, Aiden. 3 plays or fewer on 9 of their 11 drives. The Cowboys had 4 giveaways, 4 punts. Micah Parsons, where were you at? Where was this generational talent at? Where's the guy that people have been saying he's the next Lawrence Taylor. He's the next Reggie White. He's the next this and that, the next Bruce Smith.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah, exactly. Where was he at? You want to know what Micah Parsons did on Sunday night? 4 total tackles. That's it. No tackles for loss, no quarterback hurries, no quarterback hits. 4 total tackles, and he was getting his ass blown off the line every single time.
And to be, Dak and the offense get all the criticism too because they didn't show up. But really, the defense was the reason that the Cowboys were in the hole in the first place. Just letting the Niners just score on that opening drive just set itself a bad precedent that this was going to be a really, really long night for the Cowboys.
I'm going to say something. I don't want to ever hear anybody say that this Cowboys defense is the 86 Bears, that this Cowboys defense is the 2000 Ravens. They're not. I don't want to hear that anymore. The 49ers had 421 total yards, 170 rushing, 250 passing. Cowboys did force a turnover, which is great. But on the other hand, you had 4 giveaways from the offense. A Tony Pollard fumble and 3 Dak Prescott interceptions.
3 bad interceptions.
3 very bad interceptions.
Now, no receiver blame on these. I mean, you could, it doesn't look at anybody on the offense is really doing their job, but,
361-882-5397. How do you feel about the Dallas Cowboys this morning as they prepare for the Chargers tomorrow night? We will have that game right here on News Talk KEYS. How do you feel?
I mean, and then where is the leadership on this team, Because Micah Parsons, he's only vocal on his podcast. I don't think he's actually doing any leading on the field.
That's another thing with Micah Parsons. And I've been talking to Aiden and Alex and Marcos in the group chat that we have. Micah Parsons is starting to really chap me a little bit because he does a ton of talking on the podcast, talks his smack, saying that they were going to sack Brock Purdy, gets upset at George Kittle for wearing an F Dallas t-shirt during the game, and then he says, the next time we see the 49ers, it's going to be personal. Bet that. Micah Parsons, if it wasn't personal on Sunday night, when will it ever be personal? After they whipped your ass 42-10, after you were a no-show on defense, it should have been personal on Sunday night, Micah Parsons. Instead, you run your mouth on your podcast after the fact, and you look like a damn fool. Shut the hell up and play football. And make some damn plays if you're a generational talent.
And not only am I challenging Dak's leadership, but you have Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, the guys who've been there longer. Where are y'all at vocally leading the team? I was disappointed in them because they've been, the best pros on the Cowboys for over a decade now, or it seems like it. And what's going on? They didn't play well as well.
No, they didn't. Everybody.
And Zach Martin usually plays well, and it's just, the 49ers just pushed them around on both sides of the ball. It wasn't even like a tactical issue. Well, it was, because Shanahan was calling all these, masterclass plays if you.
Yes.
But it wasn't just that. It was also them just being pushed around the line of scrimmage.
They got out-physicaled and beat up by the 49ers.
Beat down mentally and physically.
It was a systematic butt-whooping. Shanahan had Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn absolutely bent over the entire night. Outclassed in every single way. Kyle Shanahan, not his father, but Kyle Shanahan, had Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn in a freaking pretzel.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his dad would have had him as well.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It was a pathetic performance from everybody. Nobody is exempt from this one. The defense nor the offense. Everybody, every single member of that Dallas Cowboys team, pathetic. And then talk about a guy who killed the Cowboys that night. George Kittle's a Cowboy killer. He really is. He every single time the Cowboys play the 49ers, George Kittle's making some kind of big play. He had 3 touchdowns against the Cowboys.
The one player, though, that I've the last 3 games against the Niners that I've always noticed has completely wrecked y'all's game plan offensively is Fred Warner.
Oh, yeah. Fred Warner had another interception. And look,
He had a sack on Dak Prescott. It seems like y'all cannot find a way to get it. Like I know he's a great linebacker. He's a
Hall of Fame linebacker.
Hall of Fame level. He needs to play a little bit more.
I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer, is my point. He's a great linebacker, probably the best in the NFL.
But it seems like he's the one. He's a guy like they have all sorts of players, Nick Bosa, and they have a couple of good back end secondary players. But that's a guy that's always wrecking y'all, no matter what.
Oh, he shows up in big games. He shows up in big moments. Unlike number 11 on the Cowboys, who does not show up in big moments.
And even in the Niners playoff losses, he usually is the standout that's playing well on their defense.
Let's talk about Dak Prescott, because he came up short once again in a big-time game. All 3 interceptions were on him. I don't want to hear any excuses from all you Cowboys ass-kissers out there, because you're out there. I see it. I see you guys making your little Twitter videos and trying to pretend that you're a coach breaking down film. I see all you fakes out there.
Always commenting on Jalen Hurts' passing ability.
Yes, look.
And Jalen Hurts actually looks even better this year.
Worry about what's happening in your house first and foremost, because these 3 interceptions all on Dak Prescott. That 1st and 10 that he threw up for grabs trying to hit Brandon Cooks completely overshot him. The Fred Warner interception, very similar to last year's Fred Warner interception, where Dak Prescott tried to fit a slant in a tight angle with the cornerback draped over Michael Gallup. Boom, deflected interception. Bad decision by Dak. And then pick number 3, an absolutely pathetic interception. Let's go ahead and play the audio. We have it right here. Here's pick number 3, Brad Sham and Babe Laufenberg of the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Shotgun with Dowdle on Prescott's left. And there's a slant, intercepted. Right to Burks, the linebacker, at the 35, and up and out of bounds at the 48. Well, I know what Cowboys Twitter is going to be full of. That's 3 for Prescott. Dallas Cowboys football will continue.
Just sounds absolutely dejected. Sounds like me and Doug calling one of these CCISD games. Seriously, that's how bad that interception was. Yeah. That is how bad that Dak interception.
At least the good news is that now the Cowboys don't have to overpay for Tony Pollard now. Whenever he's I think he's gonna be a free agent unless he's not franchised. He's not signed, right?
Yes. Well, look,
another guy that it seems like he's just had to have the same impact this year as he had last season. Let's just say that.
Yeah, but talking about Dak real quickly, and this is probably a topic we're gonna have to continue to monitor over the course of the season. 361-882-5397. Get your takes in here. I'm not so sure that Dak Prescott should get that extension anymore.
I'm not either.
How can you justify paying Dak Prescott $50 million a year at minimum when he's playing like this? He's 30 years old. He's year 8 in the league. He can't move around like he used to. He's a statue. He's slow. He makes bad decisions in big-time moments. If I'm Jerry Jones and company, I'm having a real serious conversation about if Dak Prescott is going to get that extension. I would not be having talks with his agent. I would be seeing what he does for these last 12 games of the season. It's going to be a prove-it point for Dak Prescott, and it starts Monday night, because another bad Dak performance, another time this Cowboys team craps the bed in a big-time moment, and it's all too familiar if you're a Cowboys fan these past 27 to 28 seasons. 361-882-5397. Get your Cowboys takes in on the text line. We're going to be talking Cowboys all show long, so hit us up, 361-882-5397. Coming up next, we got some local 361 sports news to get into. It's the 920 News. Keep it right here. Sunday Sports Rush, episode number 136. It's James and Adin with you. No Cowboys game tonight, thank God. Tired of being disappointed by that team on Sundays. But I guess they'll disappoint me tomorrow night, maybe, on Monday Night Football against the Chargers on the road in Los Angeles at SoFi. We'll have that game right here for you on News Talk KEYS, 6 p.m. pregame, 7:15 kickoff. With Brad and Babe. Hopefully they don't sound disappointed like the way they sounded on that Dak Prescott interception clip we played. We're with you. Talking Cowboys. We got a lot to get into in this show. 361-882-5397. Ryan L. is in on the text line. One of our good friends, faithful listener of the Sports Rush. Ryan L. says, the Cowboys looked worse than me trying to save my tax accounting career that went down the drain. At least I'm not the biggest screw-up, LOL.
I don't know, man.
Hey,
Screwing taxes is a big deal.
Some self-deprecation is always nice,
Yeah.
Ryan. I appreciate your self-deprecation right
I
there.
know, Ryan. I may not let that slide. I have thoughts about that.
Oh, man. Ryan, one of the good guys here. He supports us a lot.
I'm just kidding, Ryan.
George D is in here. Shout out to George. Love you, George. George has some takes. George says, good morning, my friends. Talking about the regular season for the Astros. George wants to have a take on the Astros real quickly. It was like going to Vegas and rolling the dice. You never knew what you would get as a team that day. That said, it's 4 out of 7 playoff time. The Astros, in my opinion, are the team in the playoffs that opposing teams will hate to face. Astros win in 6. Enjoy your day, gentlemen. Looking forward to your opinions on sports this morning. Best show on air this Sunday. Thanks, George D. All right, George, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you getting in. And I like that little, what is that, an analogy that George just made. The Astros this season were like going to Vegas and rolling the dice. You never knew what you were going to get, the ebbs and flows of the Astros season. And it was a crazy year. Many moments where myself and Adin thought that, man, this team ain't going to make the playoffs. They don't look like a playoff team. It's going to be first round and out.
Yeah.
And now they're on to their 7th consecutive ALCS.
That's crazy, man. All this grind and all this criticism, and they're back where they usually are.
Back where they usually are. We will talk Astros and Rangers coming up at 9:50, so keep it locked right there. We are getting some Cowboys and Chargers predictions rolling in from Cowboys Nation. And guess what, Adin? Do you think Cowboys Nation is feeling good about this one or not?
Cowboys Nation, I just don't know, man.
Jerry, our friend Jerry, not Crossroads Jerry, our other Jerry, he's in here. He has a 34-10 Cowboys prediction. 34-10. After what we just saw last Sunday, you're going to predict 34-10 Cowboys?
It's in LA too, right?
It's in LA, which let's be fair, it's going to be half Cowboy crowd in there.
Nah, it's gonna be mostly. I just realized it. Yeah,
Against the Chargers, yeah. It'll be a de facto road home game. Brian's in here. He says Cowboys win. Aaron's in here. He has 27-21 Cowboys, and CD will have a wide receiver 1 type of game. Where is wide receiver 1 CeeDee Lamb? Not getting open? Dak Prescott can't get him the ball. CeeDee Lamb's on the sideline bitching and having the worst body language I've ever seen. That's another problem. CeeDee Lamb, when things get tough, the dude melts. The dude doesn't know how to compete when things get tough. He goes into a shell. He turtles up.
Yeah, I
notice that about CeeDee Lamb. Next time you see him not getting footballs, or next time the Cowboys are getting their back blown, watch that.
I've always knew Justin Jefferson was the guy of the draft. I know he's hurt right now, but I still think he was the guy.
I do not like CeeDee Lamb's demeanor on the field when the Cowboys are losing. It's not great. Not great. Let's dive into the 920 news.
There's a lot of news.
And now the news.
Some local news that I wanted to get to. The Southland Conference, Adin, our good friends at the Southland Conference, they released their preseason men's basketball poll. So preseason men's basketball poll released. And our Islanders men's basketball team, who has made back-to-back appearances in March Madness, they got picked to finish 4th in the Southland this year.
Basically, like, all the rotation players are gone.
Pretty much, you're right about that. So they got picked to finish 4th and trying to pull up everybody else. But the 2-time reigning champs of the Southland picked to finish 4th. And some notes about the Islanders this year. They've won 3 championships in the last 2 seasons, including back-to-back Southland Conference tournament titles. A&M Corpus earned automatic bids, of course, this past year. And they beat Southeast Missouri State in the opening round. So they actually have a win under their belt in tournament play. The Islanders have 11 newcomers on the roster, including 2 grad transfers, 1 senior, 6 juniors, a sophomore, and a freshman. They joined a team of 5 returnees from last season. And one of the returnees from last season who's expected to have a pretty big year is sophomore Owen Deese.
So I remember he had some good flashes.
Yeah, you remember he would come off the bench and he'll get hot. Deese is back, 6'8" forward.
He should be the leading scorer of the team. I know the Islanders are always team-oriented, but I think he's going to take most of the shots in the offense.
They brought in Marion Humphrey, who is the, I believe, cousin or brother of Marlon Humphrey from the Ravens.
Sounds like it, man.
So there we go. A bunch of guys are back, and new guys at that. And, of course, new head coach Jim Shaw expected to lead the way in the post-Lutz era. By the way, Coach Steve Lutz and his Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, they got picked to finish third in their conference. I believe they are in Conference USA. They got picked to finish third. So good luck to Coach Lutz out there, and good luck to the Islanders. The Islanders' first basketball game this season is going down November the 7th here in Corpus Christi at the Dugan Wellness Center versus Southwestern Adventist. Okay, who's that? Who's Southwestern Adventist? Aiden, you ever heard of those guys?
No.
Should be a scrimmage win for the Islanders right there. And then they hit the road at Houston on November the 11th to play the Houston Cougars, who are now in the Big 12 Conference. So just some quick news right there. Also, the Javelinas lost last night in their homecoming game against Angelo State. Not a good result for the Hogs. They fell 38-16 last night in Kingsville against Angelo State. Another quick note. I know you're about to hit the heart out here, but shout out to the Alice Coyotes for beating Cowallan 21-7 on Friday night. Their first win against Cowallan since 2011. So shout out to Alice for doing that. So some quick local news to get to. Islanders men's basketball picked to finish fourth in the Southland Conference. And of course, we will keep you up to speed on all things Islanders athletics here on the Sunday Sports Rush. Coming up next, if you still got your Cowboys takes, get them in on the text line. I want to hear from you. Who wins between the Cowboys or Chargers? And get your predictions in on Rangers versus Astros. We got college football talk coming up next. Keep it locked. It is the Sunday Sports Rush. Sunday Sports Rush, episode 136. James and Aiden with you all the way till 11 a.m., giving you the best sports talk here in the Coastal Bend. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we will talk Rangers and Astros. We'll break down that series. Game 1 of the American League Championship Series is tonight on Fox at 7 p.m. We'll break it down in 15 minutes. Shout out to Jerry Plemons and Crossroads Clinical Research. Those are our guys. They've been sponsoring our show for a long, long time, and we appreciate them so much. Right now, if you're 65 years or older, or if you know someone 65 years or older, and you want to get paid to get your flu shot, Jerry is that guy. Hit him up at 361-288-4668 to get scheduled and sign up. Or you can get more information at number3cra.com. That is number3cra.com. Thank you, Crossroads Clinical Research, for sponsoring the show. Doug sent me an email during the break. Doug Kesterson, our PD here at News Talk KEYS, program director, our boss, our good friend. He was sending me prep already this morning for Veterans Memorial versus Miller. And that just was the perfect segue to this, because this Thursday night on the MIC Sports Network, our game of the week is Veterans Memorial versus Miller. 7 p.m. kickoff on MICSportsNetwork.com, and you can watch for absolutely free. It'll be myself and Doug Kesterson on the call. Probably game of the year.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, game of the year. Without a doubt, the district title's on the line.
Last year was probably the best game of the year as well. I remember Miller was leading by 2 possessions with like 4 minutes left. Best scores, and I think they got an onside or something like that.
Something like that.
And then they were able to score, and they won the game from there, yeah.
Let's just put it this way. I'm looking forward to this one. I've been looking forward to it all year long, and it's happening Thursday night on the MIC Sports Network. Game of the week, Veterans Memorial versus Miller, 7 p.m. kickoff on the MICSportsNetwork.com. You can watch for free, so make sure you tune on in. You don't want to miss this big clash between Vets Memorial and Miller. They're calling it the Crosstown Showdown. It's turning into a rivalry. And I, for one, love that. All right. Awesome stuff right there. Aiden, you can kind of leave this up because we're going to go into some college football talk. Let's do that. So, college football yesterday was popping. And yesterday I had the chance, Aiden and company listening, to actually sit down all day long and watch college football, even amongst the annular eclipse that was happening, which was very weird. Everything looked tinted and shaded outside. It was crazy. The eclipse was tripping me out a little bit. But
it was, dude.
It was wild.
I was here at the station with John Bell and
yeah, dude,
and Mr. Wrestling here, and I let them share my shades, even though it wasn't technically the sun shades you're supposed to use.
Jeez, dude.
But just the lighting, like it wasn't dark. It wasn't completely dark. There was still light coming through, but it was just a weird lighting.
I
man.
just
it was like a stadium effect.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I compared it to a real life Instagram filter. Like everything just looked tinted outside. It was tripped out. So in the midst of that happening, I was watching college football, and man, oh man, the game of the day was between Oregon, number 8 Oregon at number 7 Washington.
Yeah.
Michael Penix Jr. and the Washington Huskies, they took the lead very late in this game to go up 36-33 with about a minute and a half left. Here's the call from Chris Fowler, ABC.
Launching for the end zone. Forget being patient. Odunze. And Washington takes the lead.
Odunze in the end zone from Penix Jr. And then in the next possession, Oregon, they take it down the field. They actually move down the field pretty good behind Bo Nix. They go up to attempt a game-winning field goal, and it was missed.
Yeah.
The field goal was missed. Wide right from 43 yards, a miss by Camden Lewis, and Washington wins 36-33. Washington remains undefeated at 6-0. The Ducks fall to 5-1. And people this morning are very upset at Dan Lanning, the head coach of the Ducks, for some of his in-game coaching decisions.
4th and 3 from midfield. Now, if you convert the 4th down, game is over. I don't think Washington had any timeouts. And it's a 4th and 3. Like, if it's a 4th and 1, okay, I understand going for the kill shot. But 4th and 3, there's just, you basically take running plays out of the mix. It's harder for a defense to not stop you whenever they expect you to pass the ball. It was a rollout too. It
was very questionable. And now, Oregon loses. They're still a great team, but now Washington.
But they're out of the playoff picture unless Washington loses 2 games and Oregon can slide back into that Pac-12 championship game.
It'll be very tough for the Ducks.
Yeah, it's just not. I don't think it's going to happen this year, man.
But Washington with this win, a big-time win, this might propel them. Right, they're ranked number 7 right now. I'll be very interested to see the AP poll when it comes out later today, where Washington sits. Will they jump into 5? Maybe? I don't know.
Well, they're going to jump USC.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's talk about that. Good segue right there, because USC came into last night's ball game against Notre Dame, ranked number 10, and Notre Dame number 21.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a bigger matchup, but Notre Dame had those losses against Ohio State and Louisville.
Yeah. But Notre Dame, in the magical football Jesus stadium that they have up there in South Bend, they whooped USC 48-20. And Caleb Williams probably played one of the worst games he's ever had in college football.
That's his worst college game of his career. 199
yards, 1 touchdown pass, and 3 interceptions. And those 3 interceptions, if you look at the replays, man, they were pretty bad. They were bad choices to make. He tried to use his arm to make up for his decision, and that was not a good choice.
He looked like a dollar store, like Patrick Mahomes, but without like the actual like clutch skill.
Yeah.
Because usually Mahomes converts those crazy plays.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look.
I see the comparisons, but let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. So now, with that performance last night, with the way Michael Penix Jr. looked yesterday.
Williams, he lost his Heisman.
I was going to say, the Heisman.
We've never had a repeat Heisman winner since Archie Griffin, I believe, of Ohio State.
I would say Michael Penix Jr. has put himself up in discussion as probably the front runner for the Heisman.
Yeah, Michael Penix Jr. Jake May had a good game against
against Miami. Yeah, and that's good right there because Miami did lose again. They lost 41-31 to number 12 North Carolina, who is 6-0. And you texted me this yesterday. You said North Carolina looks like a team who could potentially knock off Florida State.
Yeah.
And Florida State yesterday, who came into yesterday's action ranked number 4, they beat Syracuse 41-3.
Old Mac has a squad, man.
They do. Mac Brown. Good old Mac Brown. Good old Longhorn Mac Brown.
I'm rooting for North Carolina because it'd be nice to see Mac Brown back in the national playoff stage again or something like that.
It was. Yeah, it'd be nice. And he's back in it.
But you're a Florida State fan this year because you predicted them.
I predicted them to win the national championship. And look at how my prediction is looking right now, dude.
I mean,
does this guy sitting behind the mic right here no ball or what?
There's flaws with that team, though. I don't see it.
I don't know. Keon Coleman, he's a great wide receiver for Florida State. He had himself a hell of a game yesterday. Some more top 10 action. Georgia 37, Vanderbilt 20. Number 1, Georgia went into Nashville. Tougher game than it appeared, but Georgia pulls away, and they find a way to win. That's what Georgia does.
Brock Bowers got hurt in the game. I don't know how long.
Ankle injury. Yeah. Left the game. Status to be determined going forward.
Yeah, they're going to need him against Tennessee.
Number 2, Michigan defeats Indiana 52-7.
Man, they've been
a unit, but they had a cupcake early schedule.
Yeah, they haven't played anybody yet. They'll play Penn State at Penn State
next week.
Yeah.
Or in a couple of weeks. Number 3, Ohio State beats Purdue 41-7.
They don't.
Yeah. Sorry, don't.
And that's one of my all-time favorite bad nicknames.
Number 6, Penn State 63-0 over Massachusetts. So Penn State played nobody. They're still undefeated. We already talked about Oregon and the USC game. Let's move on. Alabama defeats Arkansas 24-21.
I still wasn't impressed by Alabama. They're skating by off of their talent.
Not too impressive, but I am getting more and more impressed with Jalen Milroe and his passing ability. I think he's kind of settling in, and he's taking a little bit more chances with his arm, and he has a great arm. He has the athletes. Let it unleash, and he did yesterday for a little bit.
I mean, it was at home against a 2-win Arkansas team.
Yeah, and, that's a tough matchup. I mean,
Alabama.
Sam Pittman, pretty large guy.
They got to play Tennessee and LSU next, so that's,
Nicky Saban picks up his 200th win and moves to 17-0 against Arkansas.
Yeah. Oh,
so there we go. He's never lost to Arkansas. Some more notable games from last night. Number 15, Oregon State beat number 18, UCLA. I actually saw a little bit of this one. 36-24, Oregon State moves on. They moved to 6-1. And then I kind of wanted to talk about a game that happened on Thursday night. Or was it Friday night?
I think it was Friday.
Friday night, Colorado blew a 29-0 lead against Stanford at home in Boulder, Colorado.
I feel like the hype balloon has completely popped.
It died. It's done. I feel like everybody who was on Deion's bandwagon has kind of jumped off. It's been a little bit more quiet as of late.
Got to fix that defense.
That defense is horrible. Horrible. And then
they should have been able to score more points than they did in the second half, but I think the offense is fine. I wouldn't say fine, but I think it's
it's serviceable. They could put up points. Shadur Sanders is not a bad quarterback.
But, Deion, you're a defensive guy. I expect more out of the defensive end.
Yeah, they sold that one hard against Stanford and was not a good look. Now, last thing we'll talk about here in our college football segment, I'm going to go ahead and give my top 4, my current playoff teams as I see them right now.
Okay.
Here we go. Number 1, Florida State.
Number 1, Georgia.
Okay. Number 2, I got Michigan.
I have Michigan as number 2.
Number 3, I have Georgia.
3, I have Florida State.
And then at number 4, I have Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma. Big win against UT.
I think Oklahoma deserves that number 4 spot. And then, of course, after them, I got number 5, Ohio State. Number 6, Washington.
Number
7, Penn State.
Number 8, UNC.
Yeah, around there. So my top 4 as of right now, Florida State, Michigan, Georgia, Oklahoma. Texas is also kind of in there. But
I have Texas as the best one-loss team.
Yeah, they're number 9, number 10-ish.
Alabama might slide in the top 10. I think they're 10. They were 11. I think they'll be 10 now.
So there we go. That's going to wrap up our college football talk. I want to get out a couple of minutes early so we could have some extra time to talk about the Astros and Rangers. We preview the Lone Star Series next. What's your prediction? Who wins the series? 361-882-5397. It's Astros and Rangers talk coming up next. Sunday Sports Rush, News Talk KEYS. James Espinosa and Adin Ducker with you. Hit us up on the text line, 361-882-5397. Y'all guys are getting in, especially on Cowboys talk. And we got some people rolling in when it comes to predictions for Rangers and Astros. Get to a couple of predictions real quickly, Adin. We got our good friend Chuck in the DFW at Sooner Clone. He says, my heart says Rangers in 6. My brain says Astros in 7. We got Bobby in here. He says Rangers in 7. The MVP is Josh Young. Raul says Rangers in 6. Todd says Astros. And Christopher says Astros in 5. A gentleman's sweep. Ooh, that's kind of bold. Astros in 5. That's a little bit bold right there. Can I see it happening? Yes, I can. So let's go ahead and let's talk Rangers and Astros. It is the Lone Star Showdown, and it's finally happening. The Astros defeated the Twins in 4 games. Astros advanced to their 7th consecutive ALCS. That is just crazy. Only the Braves, from 1991 to 1999, have a longer LCS streak since the round began in 1969. The Braves went to 8 straight. They only won 1 World Series, though.
Yeah. Oh, the Astros have 2, so.
Astros have 2, automatically better than the Braves of the 90s. In my opinion.
And I think they made the same amount of World Series already, too.
Story of the series for the Astros against the Twins. The Astros pitchers struck out 53 Twins. Of the 5 homers they allowed, they were all solo shots, so the Twins never hurt them for big bangers. Minnesota struck out more than any lineup in the sport during the regular season. So the Astros took advantage of that. And, of course, Jose Abreu was hot. Playoff Abreu is here. And you know what? I am sorry, Jeff Bagwell, for doubting your baseball prowess. You signed him before they hired Dana Brown. You said that he'll figure it out. It looks like he figured it out, at least in the wild card round. Abreu was hot, bro.
He hadn't been playing hurt because I remember he missed like a month or so with like some sort of injury. And since he's come back September, he's been raking it. You know, he had, 3 RBIs against the Diamondbacks in those first 2 games.
In that series that the Astros had to win.
Yeah, had to win.
That was like a playoff series already. Yeah.
I know Jordan was raking it.
Oh, my God, Jordan.
Against the Twins.
Dude.
But I know there's no ALDS MVP, but I would have given it to Abreu.
I would have probably given it to Abreu also, despite Jordan's heroic efforts. And, the pitching staff looked great. Bullpen, Brian Abreu looks amazing. Presley was back there looking great.
Outside of Neris's Game 1 blunder, that bullpen was fantastic.
So for the 3rd time in its history, it's a Lone Star Showdown in a conference finals. Now check this out. 1995, this is in the NBA, you had Rockets and Spurs. 2003, you had Spurs and Mavericks. We're talking about just Texas teams against each other in a championship round series. This is only the 3rd time it's ever happened, the 1st time in baseball. The Astros did win the season series 9-4 against the Rangers and won the Silver Boot. And we can't forget the last time these teams played in Arlington, the Astros massacred them September the 4th through September the 6th, 13-6, 14-1, and 12-3.
Yeah, but...
Well, I was going to say, what scares you about the Rangers? Talk to me about the Rangers. What are some of your thoughts, Aiden? And listening audience, 361-882-5397.
Well, the Rangers are healthier than they've ever at this point. I mean, there's no DeGrom, but he's been out for a while now. This is about as healthy as the Rangers are gonna be. So they have Josh Young back. I remember Hymas missed a few weeks. This Evan Carter kid has come out of nowhere, been an absolute slugger for them. It's starting at left field. Adolis Garcia, in the regular seasons past, he's always been the Astros boogeyman. So he kind of worries me a little bit. I'll say I feel like the Rangers have a slightly better slugging lineup than the Astros have, the entire season.
So the Rangers as a collective unit slug .492. As a team, their OPS is .865, which is pretty good. Anything over 800 is good. Anything over 900 is elite when it comes to OPS. You talked about Evan Carter, the rookie. He's had 14 at-bats this postseason. He's hitting .429, on-base percentage .619, slugging .857, and his OPS is a outstanding 1.476.
And then let's not forget their best player all year has been Corey Seager.
Corey Seager is balling in the playoffs as well.
And have you noticed the last 2 years he's not been a Dodger? The Dodgers have faltered even faster in the playoffs. I looked up his playoff stats. He was a good playoff performer for the Dodgers.
I'm worried about Seager. I'm worried about Carter. I'm worried about Astros killer Adolis Garcia.
And then you have underrated guys like Marcus Semien and Nathaniel Loud that could put the ball in play as well.
You cannot forget about the rookie Josh Young. Mitch Garver, the catcher, whenever he does get some at-bats.
Well, he's their DH. He's going to be their full-time DH because
he can hit the crap out of a baseball.
Because they tried Grossman game 1 against the Orioles. He didn't pan out. And then when they put Garver in, he had like 7 RBIs.
Now, when it comes to the pitching, the Rangers, this is how the series is shaking out here. Games 1 through 3. This is the projected pitching battle. So tonight, you have Jordan Montgomery going against Justin Verlander, game 1. Feel pretty good about that one.
Man, I wouldn't expect Montgomery when they traded him. He'd be the number 1 starter.
Game 2, it's already been confirmed. It's Framber Valdez against Nathan Eovaldi.
We need Framber to step up. That's for sure.
And then game 3, when this series does go back to Arlington, a.k.a. Minute Maid North, it'll be Christian Javier against Max Scherzer. Scherzer is back for the ALCS.
Javier's been lights out the past month because he struggled quite a bit during the season, but he's been lights out this past month.
Playoff Javier is on another level.
Three playoff starts, no earned runs. One he helped pitch a no-hitter.
On another level.
Yeah.
Like I said, his start against the Twins was outstanding in game 3. And then let's shout out Jose Urquidy as well. In game 4 against the Twins. He also pitched another outstanding game.
He actually earned himself a spot because it was supposed to be France, but he had that family emergency. And when he came in and pitched a shutout game against the Diamondbacks, Urquidy earned a spot in the playoff rotation. And I don't mind JP France if one of the stars are struggling for him to come in for a few innings of relief.
Long reliever, yeah.
So I don't mind that at all. We haven't really needed JP France yet, so that's been good. The both started. If I probably give the slightest TC edge. It's the most even, but I give a slight TC edge to the Astros since they've been there at least.
We got Fernando in here on the text line 361-882-5397. He says Texas in 7.
I mean, it's certainly possible. I think this is going to be a tough series no matter what. I'd be surprised. Because I know the Astros bludgeoned them in the regular season, but I'd be surprised if that happens again. I don't expect this to be a 4 or 5 game series at all.
I feel that this is a 6-game minimum series. 6 games minimum.
And it's also division rivals. It's going to be different. It's going to be tight.
These teams hate each other. Let's not forget about that moment these two teams had in Houston when Marcus Semien hit a home run, he stomped on the plate, and then Martin Maldonado had some words to say.
Yeah.
Benches cleared. There was smack talk in the post game.
I was gonna go to that game, that Wednesday night game where the Astros got bludgeoned, but my cousin was due on that day, and we found out about it like a week or two before, and so I didn't go after all. So shout out to my cousin Matthew for saving me from that.
We got Rena in here. Our good friend Rena, who used to work here at the station.
Hey, Rena.
Rena says Astros in 5.
Another even matchup is the managers.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up.
It's going to be a chess match. I love Dusty Baker. We love Dusty, but I have to give a slightest edge because he has more World Series titles to Bochy.
Dude, Bochy and Dusty.
Yeah.
Talk about old school.
But the slightest of edge, like, Bochy's not going to lose him a game on manager decisions.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, back in the day, it was Dusty with San Francisco and Bochy was with
He was with the Padres.
He was with the Padres
and then
for a
he
little
became
while.
the Giants manager.
Then he was the Giants manager. Then Dusty was a Giants manager.
Well, Dusty was a Giants manager before, and
Yes.
back in 2002 with Barry Bonds, they
Yes.
lost the World Series to the Angels.
Yes. And then Bochy came in. Bochy won a handful of rings with the Giants. And
It's going to be a chess match. I think the managers are going to counter each other. I don't think it's going to be put upon them to lose a game.
the
or something.
one thing that is going to hurt the Rangers, in my opinion, this series
this is the biggest disparity right here.
is once it gets into the bullpen.
Bullpen.
If the Astros can chase off the starters early and score a few runs early and start building up those pitch counts against these Rangers starting pitchers, and you start diving into that bullpen of the Rangers, things are going to get dicey, especially if they bring in a Aroldis Chapman. Things might get a little dicey.
The Rangers found a couple guys. I feel like I forgot.
Jose Leclerc.
Leclerc, and there was another reliever that pitched for them in Game 2 that pitched 3 scores. I forgot his name, Bradford or Bigford, something like that.
Let me look up the stats here real quick. Go ahead. Yeah.
But I know we're Astros fans at heart, but I'm trying to look at this from an objective point of view.
Make your prediction.
That's the biggest disparity. I think the Astros in 6, and I'm going to give a bold take. Ryan Presley is the ALCS MVP.
Ooh, I love that.
He's going to have 3 saves.
We were talking about Cody Bradford, the Rangers reliever.
He's going to have 3 saves. I think the Astros win Game 1 with Verlander. I think they lose Game 2, but they win Game 3, and they'll go up 3-1. Might lose Game 5 in Arlington. They close out in 6.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and say my official prediction for Astros and Rangers. Astros in 7. It's going to come down to a Game 7 winner-take-all in Houston. Verlander's going to pitch Game 7. Going to have one of those 5 or 6 inning, 1 hit, 7 strikeout performances. Astros win in 7. Yordan Alvarez, my ALCS MVP. I think Yordan stays hot, and I just feel it. I feel it, man. So there we go. Get your takes into the text line. Who wins between Astros and Rangers? 361-882-5397. Coming up next, we got some NFL headlines. We're broadcasting live from the Americana Arms Studios. Big city selection, small town prices. This is KEYS Corpus Christi. Hour 2 coming up. Good morning, Corpus Christi, Coastal Bend, listeners worldwide. It's hour number 2 of the Sunday Sports Rush right here on News Talk KEYS, 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. I am your host, James Espinosa, joined alongside my good friend, best friend, producer extraordinaire, and co-host. It's Adin Ducker.
Cougars, I love Cougars.
I don't love him as much this weekend
Why is that?
because
Why is that?
the Washington. Never mind.
I totally did not get that joke.
I didn't get it either.
361-882-5397. Send in your takes to the text line. We're taking your thoughts on Astros and Rangers. Who wins the series?
Oh, they're the Huskies. My bad.
Yes, Washington Huskies. You were thinking Washington State Cougars.
Yeah, my bad. I still don't. I don't like Washington State either.
I actually have a good friend who, his name's Parker Cundiff. He used to go to school with me in Kingsville. His dad was the longtime Javelina head coach. Parker Cundiff is actually an assistant coach at Washington State.
Okay, I like him more now.
So I kind of vibe with Washington State just because of my friend Parker. So there we go. 361-882-5397. I want your predictions on Astros and Rangers. Who wins the series? How many games does it go? What is your bold take? Who are your MVPs, etc.? Get them in on the text line, 361-882-5397. I actually got someone who hit me up on Twitter, at SportsRush1440. It is at 3A South Texas Fan. And 3A South Texas Fan, if you follow him on Twitter, you're pretty much going to know everything about Sinton athletics. This dude drives down from Dallas to go watch Sinton football games. He goes and chronicles the Sinton baseball season. He's a great follow on Twitter.
He'll drive,
highlights everything.
Yeah, he'll drive like 5.5 hours to see Sinton play somewhere. Like,
yeah, seriously. But he's weighing in on Astros and Rangers, and he hits me up at Sports Rush 1440. He says, "Let's go Rangers. Rangers in 5, winning it in Arlington, but most likely it's going 7, and a toss-up on the winner of Game 7. So optimistically, he's a Rangers fan. and he wants it to go 5 games. Okay, I get it. You want the Rangers to win in 5. That's awesome. But realistically, I think this one's going 7, and I think you would agree with me. So 361-882-5397. Get them in on the text line. I'm also taking some Cowboys takes. What are your thoughts on Cowboys and Chargers? And let's go ahead and let's get Robert's thought on Cowboys and Chargers, because we're going to talk NFL here pretty much the rest of the show. Let's just be honest. The second hour of our Sunday show is pretty much NFL talk. We try to get all of the other sports in the first hour, and I think we do a pretty good job at that.
We might talk other stuff in the grab bag segment.
Stuff that we missed, stuff that is important.
Braves and Dodgers doing the choking.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I got to get that. I'll get that sounder ready.
Big time choke from Braves and Dodgers. But here, I got Robert in here with the Cowboys and Chargers take. Robert says, I hope the Chargers win. It's the only way Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy go under the gun about defending Dak, who I have honestly seen enough of. Wasting time and talent on a probably average to below average quarterback who has only been regressing and is the team's blaring weakest link. It probably won't happen, but he puts his shoulders up. I hope it does. Wow. That is a hell of a take.
If the Chargers were to lose to the Cowboys, it'll be because of Justin Herbert. Because that Chargers defense is. We'll talk more about that, though.
We'll scout the Chargers, and I got some good notes on Cowboys and Chargers coming up in about 15 minutes. But that take about Dak Prescott is pretty blaring, because let's face facts. And I'm starting to be this guy also, Aiden, as we get into our NFL segment. I'm starting to be this guy also who's having a very hard time defending Dak Prescott and his transgressions. And Dak Prescott, he is 30 years old. You are in year 8, and you have regressed. Let's face facts. He is a regressing quarterback. His thought process, his decision-making is not as crisp as it once was. His ability to run and scramble, it's just not there anymore. And look,
ever since that leg injury.
Exactly. Post-leg injury, he's not the same. Can you win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott? I'll say yes, but everything needs to be right. Nobody can be off their game. Can Dak Prescott by himself elevate you to a Super Bowl and be the reason why, the sole reason why? No, in my opinion. And now Dak Prescott is starting to take shots at the media. When you start hearing a player openly criticize the media when they never used to do that before, it's in your head now. And you're a defeated person once you start acknowledging media criticism. And that's what Dak Prescott has been doing these past couple of weeks. Post-Arizona game, he called out the media for being happy that he threw an interception. This past week, post the 49ers game, he was telling CeeDee Lamb, let the media do their talking. They're going to do that. He's never acknowledged the media before like this. It's in his head. He's shooken. I just cannot buy into Dak Prescott long term, and I agree with Robert on his take. Billy's in here. He says, Chargers 24, Cowboys 20. Eckler back to full speed, and Allen is always open. He thinks that the Chargers D shows up big. All righty. Yeah. Interesting. So thank you for getting your takes in on the text line, 361-882-5397. Continue to hit us up on the text line. Astros, Rangers thoughts, and Cowboys thoughts as well. NFL headlines, let's do it. Checking in on the game that's happening in London. Let's go ahead and get that going. It's halftime in London. It's 18-3, Ravens over Titans. And what was the note that you just gave me? How many field goals does Justin Turner have?
Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker, sorry. How many field goals does he have?
He has 4. 3 of them short range because the Ravens can't score in the red zone. Lamar has thrown a touchdown to Zay Flowers, so his first career touchdown reception.
Well, that's good.
But the Titans have been dominated so far in this game, 18-3. This game should be uglier.
I mean, the defense has been dominating. The Titans' offense looks like basura.
Dude, that was a top 3 most frustrating regular season Ravens loss I've ever experienced against the Steelers.
Last week?
Mm-hmm. It was just bad, dude.
That was pretty bad, man.
I've never seen one side of the ball completely sell so hard.
And that's because you were talking last week that we did our AFC power rankings. Remember we did that?
I had them at number 2, and now
you had the Ravens as like a top AFC team.
Yeah, they're kind of like the Cowboys with the same red zone issues. So,
how do you feel about Joe Burrow and his performance with Jamar Chase last week? They finally got on track, 3 touchdowns against the Cardinals. Are you starting to buy in that Burrow and the Bengals are back?
They got to win more. They play the Seahawks, so if they lose that game, then I was high on them too, so I don't know. They're usually slow starting, but they've started really slow this year, so maybe, I don't know.
Some NFL injury news as we prepare for week number 6. Deshaun Watson is out today for the Browns. He apparently has some kind of rotator cuff injury. Probably needs to get that massaged out, to be honest.
You beat me to it. Oh, never mind.
Wait, what?
You beat me to the punch.
They beat him?
No, you beat me to the punch, dude. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. I got you on that one. Probably a smart thing to sit Deshaun Watson against the 49ers, though. The Browns play the 49ers today.
Oh, you know there's a reason why he's sitting out.
You know the 49ers will put a beating on Watson.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, they did that to the Cowboys, so.
Yeah, they beat a lot of teams. As I mentioned, Burrow says he's feeling close to 100%. I'm feeling it. I haven't written the obituary on the Bengals yet. Not yet. I feel like they can still get back in this race. I like that. October 31st is the NFL trade deadline. And according to CBS Sports, these are rumors in quotes. This comes from Cody Benjamin at CBS Sports. Here are 7 players that could hit the trade market. Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins. There's rumors out there that he could be on the trade market. The Vikings are 1-4. The Vikings might be wanting to go for a full rebrand, resell, and might be wanting to ship off Kirk Cousins.
Justin Jefferson being injured for a month is going to – they're in sell mode. I don't see the Vikings making the playoffs. I think that they're done.
And potential suitors for Kirk Cousins, they list the Jets.
But the Jets, aren't they having – I know they put – that's also in headlines that Dalvin Cook is supposedly back on the trade block. They're hardly using him. They've used him in 30% of their snaps.
Yeah. I mean, dude, he's been a bust. I mean, Jets are also going to be without Sauce Gardner and their other young cornerback on the opposite of him.
Against the Eagles, so A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith will have a field day.
Ooh, that's going to be fun.
And Jalen Hurts, all the Cowboys fans were talking all offseason, he's not a good passer. All he does is run. He looks pretty good this year. He's gotten better as I thought he would.
Can I give a Jalen Hurts take real quick?
He might be. Yeah, go for it.
Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm so tired of these blue-shaded Cowboys fans out there. Dude, just acknowledge the fact that Jalen Hurts is playing some really good football and be real with yourself and quit lying to yourself. Mm-hmm. He's better than Dak Prescott right now, and I'd take Jalen Hurts in a heartbeat.
I mean, yeah, and that deep ball accuracy's gotten even better.
Something that Dak Prescott does not have. Ryan Tannehill is rumored to be on the trading block. Quarterback for the Titans. His potential suitors are the Falcons or the Jets.
He peaked in 2019.
Yeah, dude, he's not doing good this year.
I know.
So far this morning, it does not look good either.
I know this because he won me my only fantasy championship in our league. So
Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams is rumored to be on the market, and the potential suitors for Davante Adams include Patriots, Texans, and Ravens.
Ravens, please.
Oh my God! Could you imagine
if
Davante went to the Ravens and started connecting with Lamar Jackson?
I think our defense with Roquan, with no matter what's going to be good because he's just one of those impact players. Trade away. I don't care if you give away a starter on defense or something like that. We need Davante Adams. Hey, him on the Texans is that'd be a good get for them as well. Patriots, I don't see it. The Patriots, at least.
We got Edward in here on the text line. Edward, 361-882-5397. Edward says Dak will not take us to a Super Bowl.
I mean,
I agree.
Evident.
I
don't know why I was too high on the Cowboys. There was a meme where it said like somebody was selling a book to not buy the Cowboys.
Oh, yes. That's Craig Miller's Guide to Never Buying Into the Cowboys Again, forwarded by Drew Henson. A bestseller for any Cowboy season. Shout out to Craig Miller of The Ticket, by the way, for that.
And we want to see the Cowboys go deep.
You know that's not a real book, right?
I know, but
it's a fun parody because you should never buy into the Cowboys ever. And guess what? Jerry Jones was on 105.3 The Fan this past week on his mini radio shows that he does. The only owner that does this, narcissist. Jerry Jones says Dak Prescott, quote, is very capable of getting us to a Super Bowl. That's what he said on the radio show. Quote from Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott is a quarterback that can get us to the Super Bowl, and that's the way that's going to be, Jones said on 105.3 The Fan. Quote, I want to be real clear. Dak's very capable of making this team be where we want it to go, end quote. So Jerry putting it out publicly that he still believes in Dak Prescott. And you know what I got to say about that? That's not a good sign, Aiden. That's not a good sign, Cowboys fans. The vote of confidence from your owner is typically not a good sign. What else is Jerry Jones supposed to say to the public? Oh, yeah, I'm thinking about not extending Dak Prescott. We're going to be looking for the future. No, Jerry Jones is going to spin the company line and continue to make you believe that this Cowboys team is a Super Bowl contender. Of course he's going to say Dak Prescott could take you to the Super Bowl. But the evidence is there, guys. It is there. I'm starting to not believe in Dak Prescott, and I hate myself for it because I've loved Dak Prescott his entire career. I still do. Still think he's probably a great and badass type of guy. But you got to start evaluating that position a little bit closely if you're Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and that Jones family brass. I would not extend Dak Prescott. You cannot justify it, in my opinion. All right. We got some more Cowboys talk coming up next because after the break, the Cowboys and the Chargers play tomorrow night, Monday Night Football right here on News Talk KEYS, and we are going to scout the Chargers and give our official predictions on Cowboys and Chargers coming up next on the Sunday Sports Rush. Sunday Sports Rush, episode 136. Annette, real quickly, is in on the text line, 361-882-5397. Annette says, hell no! Exclamation points. Cowboys are not going to the Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. 361-882-5397. We're reacting to Jerry Jones's comments saying that Dak Prescott can lead the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. Do you believe that or not? 361-882-5397. Let's dive in. It's time to scout the Chargers. Cowboys and Chargers. It's coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow night, right here on News Talk KEYS, 6 p.m. pregame and a 7:15 kickoff. You can hear Brad and Babe and Christi Scales.
Man, I'm having a busy Monday. I work Mondays.
Yeah. It's going to be busy. You know it's going to be even more busy with the Monday Night Football Cowboys game, so get ready to stock them shelves full of beer.
It usually dies at 8, though, so hopefully I get that for me.
There we go. Some quick injury news for the Cowboys. Leighton Van Der Esch is expected to miss multiple weeks with a neck injury he suffered last week.
And he's had neck injury issues in the past. This kind of worries me a little bit if I'm a Cowboys fan.
It does, and that sucks to see for LVE. Special teams ace C.J. Goodwin, who also plays cornerback, has an arm injury that will likely force him to injured reserve as well. He's out for the year. The Cowboys are banged up, man. And an interesting stat that I wanted to bring forth to everybody out here. Teams that have faced the 49ers, Ada, so check this stat out, all right? If you played the 49ers the week after, how does your team do? Well, in the past 2 seasons, teams are 1-18 since last year in the week after losing to the 49ers.
I think the Steelers are the only team that's won.
Yes.
Because they won on Monday Night Football.
Yes, that's it. But typically, you're 1-18 after you face the 49ers because the 49ers just beat the crap out of you.
Yeah.
And a lot of these Cowboys, there's a lot of injuries. Now, Cowboys and Chargers, the Cowboys lead the series 7-5. The Chargers have won 3 of the last 4 meetings. The Cowboys' last win was on September the 19th, 2021, my birthday. Dallas 20, Chargers 17. Game-winning field goal was kicked by Maher in that game.
I think John Lynch, the GM, he knows how to find guys that play physical. I think that's where they kind of get their edge from. You know, because Shanahan, you know, the way that he plays, you know, we'll forget about the Niners.
Yeah.
But that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, and you know what? To counter that 1-18 record, the Cowboys are 9-1 under Mike McCarthy since 2021. Following a loss. So, can the Cowboys get a win?
They have an extra day to rest up.
Yeah, they have a day to rest up. Now, some Chargers notes. The Chargers are 7th in scoring average, 27.5 points per game under Kellen Moore. Where do the Cowboys rank when it comes to scoring average? Well, the Cowboys rank 17th. in the NFL in scoring average under Mike McCarthy. So big storyline tomorrow night is Kellen Moore calling plays for the Chargers. The Cowboys let him go for this West Coast offense under Mike McCarthy. And right now, Kellen Moore has a top 5 offense, and Mike McCarthy has an offense that's ranked 17th overall.
Yeah, and that Chargers offense is not the reason they've been losing. They've lost a couple games. It's because of that defense.
Oh, that defense is not great, Aiden.
And it's really not great whenever you're a defensive head coach and your defense is like the bad part of your team. I feel like Herbert's basically carrying the coaching staff.
I've always compared the Chargers to the AFC Cowboys. Especially under the Phillip Rivers years, too.
Just snake bitten?
Yeah, there's a snake-bitten franchise. They always have
Things go wrong.
Yeah, they always have pretty good teams, but they can never put it together. They're kind of like the AFC Cowboys in a sense.
In the past 27 years.
Yeah, exactly.
The Chargers don't have the history, of course.
They don't have the... Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I get what you're trying to say.
Chargers defense gives up 24 points per game. Their rush defense is 14th ranked, and their pass defense is dead last in the NFL, 32nd. The pass defense of the Chargers gives up 299 yards per game. If the Cowboys want to win this game, you got to attack that secondary. Attack, attack, attack. This should be the game that Cowboys wide receivers can get open against a crap secondary like this.
Brandon Cooks, is he finally going to, blow out for the Cowboys?
Is CeeDee Lamb going to have a big game? Finally, CeeDee Lamb's best game of the year has been a game with 4 receptions. On average, they haven't been able to get CeeDee Lamb the ball, dude. So, a lot of things to look at here tonight, of course.
Because I don't see the defense, in 3 of the Cowboys wins. Did they score a defensive touchdown against the Jets? I know they did against the Giants and the Pats. But I need to see the Cowboys win this year without a defense setting the tone, because they're not going to get those defensive touchdowns and they're not going to get those big plays that they did, because the Chargers offense is going to put points on the board. So this game is going to fall on whether or not Dak Prescott shows up or not.
Even though the Chargers give up a ton of passing yards, they are still a pretty good defense in the sense that they create turnovers. They're +5 in the turnover differential. That is 5th in the NFL.
Right.
So Dak Prescott still has to play a pretty clean game, and I agree with you. I think Dak and Mike McCarthy, it's a big game for them because the Cowboys have a bye week coming up after the Chargers game. Can you imagine if the Cowboys were to lose this game in a not-so-glorious way, the talk that will be going on for the next 2 weeks? There might be a little bit of smoke around Mike McCarthy, if you know what I'm catching here, if the Cowboys come out flat once again. Something to keep your eye on. Now, Cowboys offensive line versus the Chargers pass rush. Something to watch out for. Khalil Mack, and I didn't even realize this, Aiden, but Khalil Mack had 6 sacks against the Raiders. That really happened?
Yeah.
He had 6 sacks against the Raiders.
But the Raiders are another poorly coached team.
But still, dude, having 6 sacks against the Raiders, that's 6 sacks ain't nothing to shake a stick at.
I think the Cowboys offensive line is better than that.
Also, Nick Bosa, questionable to play on Monday night.
Joey Bosa.
Is it Joey?
Joey
Bosa, questionable to play on Monday night.
He's a good player. He's just not as good as his brother. So
he's still a premier pass rusher.
He's still a decent player they have to watch out for.
Stopping Austin Eckler and the run game going to be big for the Cowboys.
Austin Eckler's going to get back in.
Yeah, he's only played 1 game this season. Austin Eckler, he can be a game changer for the Chargers. The Cowboys rush defense ranks 21st in the NFL. They give up 123 yards on the ground per game. Austin Eckler, we'll see what could happen. Can the Cowboys stop Justin Herbert and that Chargers wide receiver core? Justin Herbert's one of the most prolific passers in the NFL this season. He's ranked 3rd in the league with a 106.3 QB rating. Just 1 interception, 7 touchdowns. Herbert's completing 71% of his passes. He's been on fire, bro. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams.
I know Keenan Allen's been out. Well, Mike Williams is out for the year.
Yeah, Joshua Palmer.
But Keenan Allen has been pretty good this year. I know he's not been on your team producing. So,
can the Cowboys get CeeDee Lamb the ball? Other than his 11-catch game against the Jets in Week 2, Lamb has just 14 receptions, averaging about 4 catches per game. Got to get Lamb the ball.
All season we've been predicting mostly close games, but none of these games for the Cowboys have been really close this year.
It's prediction time. It's Cowboys, it's Chargers, it's Monday Night Football. Get your predictions in on the text line.
We have to be finally due for a close game with the Cowboys, because even that Cardinals game out, I think the Cardinals kind of dominated that game. I don't think it was that close in the score.
I don't feel good about this one.
But I've noticed the Cowboys play better after they lose. And that's been a running theme with the Cowboys, at least since Mike McCarthy's been their head coach.
What are you going to do?
I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Chargers put up some points, but I think Dak finally has a standout game against his bad Chargers D. Give me the Cowboys 27, Chargers 24.
Ooh.
It'll be a close game.
And my official prediction for Cowboys and Chargers on Monday Night Football, I think the Cowboys are too beat up. I think they're mentally fragile. I think this is another big moment, national spotlight, and I cannot trust Dak Prescott in this moment right now. I cannot trust Mike McCarthy. I need them to show me before I pick them to win again. Give me Chargers 27, Cowboys 24. Cowboys lose heading into the bye week. That's my official prediction.
Put an upset on it?
I'll think about that after the break.
Okay.
361-882-5397. Get your Cowboys takes in on the text line. Coming up next, we got NFL Pick'em with Alex Weister. Stick around. Sunday Sports Rush, episode 136. It's James and Adin with you. Got about 30 minutes left in the show. Get in on the text line 361-882-5397. If you're 65 years or older and you need that flu shot and you want to get paid, baby, hit up our good friend Jerry Plemons at Crossroads Clinical Research. 361-288-4668, 361-288-4668 to get scheduled and signed up. You could also get more information at number3cra.com. That is number3cra.com. Crossroads Clinical Research, our proud sponsor of the Sunday Sports Rush. By the way, coming up on Thursday night, Doug wants me to plug this, so I am. Thursday night, MIC Sports Network, our game of the week. It's Veterans Memorial versus Miller, and what will be the game of the year. Kickoff is at 7 p.m., MICSportsNetwork.com. Yours truly and Doug Kesterson will be on the call. Marcos Matakin and company producing the stream. It's going to be an awesome time out at Buck Stadium. 7 p.m. Thursday, MICSportsNetwork.com. Miller versus Veterans Memorial. All right. I got one thing to read from the text line real quickly, and we're going to jump to Alex, who's waiting patiently on the line. Fred's in here, 361-882-5397. Fred says, do you think the 49ers view Dak and the Cowboys the way Aaron Rodgers views the Bears? Do they own them? Yes, Fred.
Yeah.
In fact, the 49ers own the Cowboys. These last 3 games have just been brutal beatdowns. They own the Cowboys. They're in Dak Prescott's mind.
I mean, they've eliminated them in the playoffs the last 2 years.
And they flat out embarrassed them on Sunday night, and I'm still coping very hard from that. Yes, they own them, Fred. The 49ers own the Cowboys right now until proven otherwise. 361-882-5397. Let's get Alex Weister on the line. It's NFL Pick'em time, baby. What up, Weisty?
What's up, boys?
Oh, you know, just coping hard. Cowboys, 49ers, you know me. Just over here living my coping life with the Cowboys team. By the way, we already made our Cowboys predictions, and Weister, I went with Chargers 27, Cowboys 24. I don't trust this team right now, Alex, and I just can't pick them until they show me otherwise. Is that fair?
I think it is fair, but I think I'm going to roll with the Cowboys here. Getting beat like that, you usually see teams try and have a big bounce-back win. I think it's going to be a shootout, in all honesty, because both offenses can score, while the Cowboys did last week against the Niners. That's a different story. But I do think the Cowboys can bounce back. The Chargers' defense is, well, the Chargers' defense.
Dude,
we haven't seen them be great.
They're horrible, bro. They're 32nd ranked in the NFL when it comes to pass defense.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Chargers' defense, man. I think the Cowboys can win this. I'll take the 27 for the Chargers, but I'll give it 31 for the Cowboys.
Okay, so 31-27, you got the Cowboys over the Chargers. By the way, the Cowboys are about a 2-point favorite when it comes to this game on Monday Night Football. Aiden already made his selection. Aiden went Cowboys 27-24, and then I'm pulling up Marcos' selection right now. He just sent me a text a little while ago. Marcos, in his selection, has Cowboys 27, Chargers 26. Is that a scoreagami? I don't know. It might be.
That's a weird score. But...
So y'all guys are all going Cowboys. I'm going Chargers. Let's go ahead and let's start from the top right here. And I'm going to go with Saints at Texans. The Saints are a minus 1.5 point favorite on the road in Houston. Marcos got this one in already, Alex, and as you can tell, Marcos is going to go Texans, and he's going to take the Texans in an upset special. Who do you got? Are you going with your Saints?
It's fair for him. It's Texans versus the world right now. They look great, and I don't blame him. It's one of the ones that I did have listed down as one of my potential upsets. But since he picked the Texans as his upset, I'll flip it. I'll ride with my Saints. I loved what I saw last week. That was a great game versus the Patriots. And let's say we keep the hot hand. I'll take the Saints.
Aiden, who do you got, Saints or Texans?
Gotta catch up to the way they're both tied, right? Did you do standings?
Oh, sorry. Yes, in the standings. I'm so sorry. I jumped right into picks.
Yeah.
My apologies. The standings, it's Marcos and Alex at 34 apiece. Aiden is with 32, and I am with 30. Standings are getting tight here as we continue.
I like this Texas team. I gotta pick with my I gotta pick with my guy. I think Texas win at home.
Okay, you got the Texans at home.
Yeah.
I do really like the Saints. I like what they're showing me. They put a beat down in New England, like Alex just so finely detailed. Texans, though, man, I expected a lot more against the Falcons last weekend. They played good, but I wanted them to get that victory so bad. I'm gonna go Saints. I'm gonna go Saints on the road here against the Texans. I like Derek Carr a little bit more in this game. Give me the Saints. All right. Next game up, we talked about the Falcons, the aforementioned Falcons. They are at home against the Commanders, the 2-3 Commanders at the 3-2 Falcons, and the Falcons are a 1.5 point favorite at home. Desmond Ridder, I was pretty surprised, but he's undefeated at home as a quarterback in college and now in the NFL. He just seems to play very well when he's the home quarterback. Aiden, who do you got, Commanders or Falcons?
Oh, man, I have not been impressed with the Commanders the past couple weeks. Oh, man, dude. I'm not high on the Falcons either, and I think that home thing, I think they're going to eventually get, they're eventually going to stumble. Give me the Commanders.
So you're going commies at home.
Yeah,
I'm
not going to put an upset on it, though.
No upset? Okay. I'm going to say something. I think the Falcons might be teetering on we're a pretty good team here. I think we're teetering there. Alex, am I wrong on this? I think we are on the edge of we might be a decent team. I think you're
definitely a little bit in the wrong there, and I think we'll see it with the Saints games. I think that'll be a big determiner because the Saints are sort of like a measuring stick for that division as of right now. So I'm going to hold off a little bit, but I think that's definitely a bold take.
I just like Bijan. I like Drake London. I like all the little pieces they got.
They don't even use Drake London.
But Drake London just had a good game. What are you talking about?
They don't even use Kyle Pitts.
Okay, well, I can't help what Arthur Smith does, but they have the players in place. Their defense is not half bad. As you can tell, I'm going to go Falcons at home. I'm picking Falcons. I like what I'm seeing right now. Alex, who do you got?
I'm going to go with the Falcons as well. As Aiden said, the Commanders just don't look great. Nothing really inspires confidence in me about that team, which is odd considering the defensive line is healthy for the most part. It's just their secondary is really bad. Emmanuel Forbes is having one of the worst rookie starts for a corner I think I've ever seen. And, yeah, that defense for me just looks bad. I'm going to take the Falcons.
All righty. Aiden, you took the Commanders, right?
Yeah, I did. Because
Okay.
I think the Falcons are finally losing at home.
All right, just wanted to double check on that one. Next game up on our docket, it's the Seahawks at the Bengals. The 3-1 Seahawks at the 2-3 Cincinnati Bengals. And the Bengals are a 3-point favorite. Last week, we saw Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase hook up 3 times. Finally got on track against that Cardinals defense. Joe Burrow saying he's close to 100% with his calf injury. With all that being said, I am not ready to write the obituary on the Bengals. I'm going Bengals at home against the Seahawks. I think Joey Beasy and Chase Reezy get it going.
Stop. Don't do that. Don't.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, very bad.
Alex, you're up.
I'm going to take the Bengals as well. I think this passing game, we saw it finally get going. I don't think the Seahawks are going to be able to contain that very well, so I like the Bengals.
Aiden.
Give me the Bengals, man. I had them higher on the I had them higher than the Seahawks, and I feel like the Bengals are starting to get things going now.
Marcos picks the
Bengals.
Bengals as well. Clean sweep for us there. Oh, I thought we were going to get a Seahawks pick in there. I thought somebody might bite on that one. No? Okay. Next game up, Colts at Jags. Colts are 3-2. Jags are 3-2. This one,
They've already played this year.
they've played once.
Yeah.
Who won again?
The Jaguars.
The Jaguars did win.
By 10.
This one's in Jacksonville. This one's without Anthony Richardson, but it is with Gardner Minshew starting for the Colts. Jags are 4-point favorites. This one has some upset potential. Aiden, you go first.
Give me the Jaguars. I think there's like a stat where the Jaguars have always beaten the Colts at home. So that's gonna continue.
Alex.
I'm gonna go the other way with this. I'm gonna take the Colts as my upset pick.
Wow.
Jonathan Taylor getting a ramped up workload. I love me some Minshew mania. You guys know that.
I know.
I don't know. There's just something about this pick. I'm gonna take the Colts.
Colts, you know what? The Colts are just feisty, bro. I think the Colts are they're not a bad team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're good. I think Steichen, right? That's his name?
Shane Steichen. Yeah.
Shane Steichen. Yep.
Steichen. That's his name?
No.
Okay.
No.
He's the head coach.
You've been out of pocket this segment. Time to reel you in.
He's going to go marching into Jacksonville. And I like the Colts also. I'm going to pick the Colts in this game. It's not my upset, but I do like the Colts. Marcos, oh, dang it. Marcos's picks keep on disappearing on me. Marcos picked the Jags.
Okay.
So there we go. Marcos had the Jags. Next up, we got Patriots at Raiders in what is probably the mid-off of the day. Patriots are 1-4. Raiders are 2-3. Raiders are a 3-point favorite in Las Vegas. And today, there was a report by Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport. They got the same text message to their emails. Report saying that Mac Jones is going to be on a really short leash today. An extremely short leash. This could be 3 weeks in a row where he's benched during a game. With that being said, I'll go Raiders. I think Raiders win at home. I'm not even confident in the Raiders, but I am just so done with the Patriots. Who do you got, Alex?
I'm going to go with the Raiders as well. I mean, this was one of the ugliest games last year as well, and the rosters aren't all that different. I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Last year, this was that game where
The
Jacoby
crazy
Meyer.
ending. Yes.
Jacoby Myers
Yeah.
had that.
And back
pick.
when and Chandler Jones, back when he had his head on straight,
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, something's so wrong going on
Oh,
there.
man. Because I think Belichick's a better coach than McDaniels, but I think the Raiders have a better roster. So just off of that, and they're playing at home, give me the Raiders.
Big Devontae Adams game today. Big Devontae Adams game today.
It's gonna be a mid-off.
Mid-off. All
Actually,
right.
not even a mid-off, S-off.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Pretty graphic. Dude, I'm noticing today, guys, that there's not a lot of really great games on the schedule.
Yeah.
I think Saints and Texans might be one of the marquee matchups.
Dude, watch these games be close just because you said that.
I know, but it's just like name-wise, name value-wise. Look, on the docket, I had Eagles at Jets for us to pick. Are we all going to pick Eagles?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go because the Jets are
The
going to
Jets are missing their two corners. Of course the Eagles are going to win. They should.
Okay, so we're all going Eagles. I think that one is. Does anybody want to offer any of their insight, expert analysis on this one?
Jalen Hurts is going to show why he's the best quarterback in NFC East.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alex?
A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith.
Anything on the Eagles? Anything that you've liked or not liked about the Eagles?
I mean, A.J. Brown has become the de facto number one. Devonta Smith tried to call his shot like A.J. Brown did a couple weeks ago and failed.
You're still salty about that.
It's just looking like the Eagles are going to roll away with this. I mean, Sauce Gardner being down, A.J. Brown should absolutely feast.
Okay. All right, so there we go. We got one more game to pick, and it's Lions at the Bucks, which this one looks very, very tasty. It's a 3:25 kickoff on Fox. The 4-1 Lions on the road in Tampa at the 3-1 Bucks. The Lions are a road favorite by 3 points in Tampa Bay against that Baker Mayfield-led Bucks team. For some reason, I feel Detroit's going to struggle in this game on the road in Tampa. I always like Tampa at home. I think they play extremely well.
You're going to do it.
I like the Bucks in this game.
And
Give me them as my upset special.
Really?
Bucks over Lions. Yep, going for it.
Yeah.
Bucks
so
over Lions.
James has a very, very, very bad 1-4 upset record this year.
I do. I am not great.
So that just gives me more confidence. I was kind of thinking them too, but I was leaning Lions no matter what. Now I'm even gonna just confidently say the Lions are gonna win this game. The Bucks, I think they're probably gonna win the division, but they're not. They're still not. They have a good defense, but they're still not that an impressive team to me. I think the Lions are better coached, and I think they'll beat the Bucks.
Alex, who do you got?
I'm going to take the Lions as well. I love the coaching. I love the team. It just embodies the city of Detroit perfectly. I love the Lions in this game.
When in doubt, just look at my upset special record and then go the opposite way, just for future reference. Aiden, you have yet to pick an upset.
Yes, and I probably shouldn't put my faith in this team because they're bad, but I think because their quarterback has started to play very well the past couple weeks, give me the Bears. The Bears.
Who are the Bears playing?
The Vikings.
Oh,
Vikings
wow.
without Justin Jefferson. They're just in shambles right now, and I think the Bears at home. That bear. What's it called again? I forgot. I don't know.
Soldier Field.
Soldier Field. I forgot. Is there a nickname? I don't think there is. But they're gonna. But
nope.
the Bears impressive win against the Commanders. They should have beat the Broncos. I think they're gonna ride high. Justin Fields has found something finally.
The Bears.
And the Vikings defense is bad, so give me the Bears.
They're gonna bear down.
Bear down. Yeah.
Alrighty. So Aiden got the Bears on that one. Alex, what do you got going on today?
Nothing much. I'm just chilling out watching football. I mean, I've had a pretty busy week so far, so I'm just going to take this day to chill and relax.
You were at the UNT game?
I was at the UNT game. I was running one of the sideline cameras for the board show.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. Well, there we go. Alex, we'll catch up here very soon, man, and have yourself a great rest of your Sunday.
Yeah, you guys too.
There he goes, Alex Weister, member of the Sunday Sports Rush, doing big things up at the University of North Texas, and that is our NFL Pick'em segment. When we come back, sports grab bag, some Wemby talk. Keep it locked. Sunday Sports Rush, episode 136. It's our last segment here. Marcos texted me with his quick Rangers thoughts. Marcos Matakin, of course, of the Sunday Sports Rush. He says, also for my Rangers take, the bats are hot right now, so if the pitching staff continues their postseason success, then the Rangers will have the edge. It's Marcos' take.
Yeah, but the Astros in their postseason, you see, the Rangers bats are really good, but I just feel like they're eventually going to start cooling down a little bit.
I feel they're really streaky.
The Rangers are, I feel like, because they've won, 8 in a row now?
Yeah, they swept. So
or no, not 8 in a row. Wait.
They swept Tampa.
They won 5 in a row.
Yeah, they swept Tampa, and they swept the Orioles 5 in a row.
5 in a row.
Start the playoffs. All right, maybe something has to give.
Yeah.
Maybe something has to give. Andres is in here. He has a Cowboys and Chargers prediction. Andres says, let's just say I'd love to see some semblance of an NFL offense from the Cowboys and would be happy with any sort of win. Dallas 28, Chargers 24.
They got to score at least 21 against this Chargers defense.
Ryan says Chargers 31, Cowboys 27. Just scrolling on a little bit. Sam says, I think the Cowboys defense regroups and Dallas wins in a bold statement, 34-14. The offense will still struggle in the red zone, but they will have 34 points somehow, some way. So I guess a couple of defensive touchdowns. I don't know. But Sam has Cowboys winning 34-14 in a bold statement. So there we go. There we go. Marty says that Kellen Moore will outshine McCarthy. Chargers 34-24. Okay. Oh, my God. Can I read you this one?
Well, real quick, that's the thing that we haven't really talked about as much as the Kellen Moore being the former Cowboys offensive coordinator. Is he? Who's gonna know each other's tricks more?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Andy says, Coach Smith says, Chargers 31, Cowboys 28. Dak throws a game-sealing interception. The world will melt down if that happens.
Shout out to Andy Smith all the way up in Alpine.
Alpine, one of my favorite dudes ever. Adrian says, check this score out. Adrian always has outlandish scores. Adrian says, Cowboys 52, Chargers 21. Bold prediction. I guess that's bold. I don't see it happening. But that's
if the Cowboys score 52, I will show up in the tightest shirt you've ever seen, James.
Whoa.
Belly hanging out. all fat and ugly.
We got
I'll do that.
a new texter in. We don't have a name for him on the text line, but he says, or she says, I don't want to assume your gender. He says or she says, Dak 2 first-half interceptions, but he rallies the boys to a 31-27 win. I don't think the Cowboys could sustain a couple of first-half interceptions from Dak Prescott. That's just me.
The only quarterback that could throw 3 first-half interceptions and win is Tom Brady.
Oh, man. Oh, he says, this is your boy Q. All right, so Q is in here.
Weekly Tom Brady mention, by the way.
There we go. Weekly Tom Brady mention.
Q?
Yeah, he said,
Quentin?
It says Q. This is your boy Q. He just says Q. Like the letter Q.
Let us know if that's you, Quentin.
He says, if Rangers win game 1, it's Texas in 6. If Houston wins game 1, it's Astros in 5. And it is Quentin. All right, shout out to Quentin. There we go.
Shout out, Quentin.
Got to get you on the show to talk some high school sports here pretty soon, Quentin. Pretty soon. 361-882-5397. Get your final takes into the show. Wembenyama has looked pretty dang good, man, in the preseason. And, Victor has put on some special moments. Monday night, he went against Chet, looked great. Chet also looked very good.
Yeah.
Friday night against the Heat, Wembenyama dropped 23 points, 4 assists, 3 blocks, had 23 minutes played, and just had some ridiculous highlights, Aiden. I said last year that when you see this guy play basketball, he's going to do things you never thought were possible. That's a clip I have, and I'm very proud of. So far, so good. People are being blown away by Wembenyama.
There's a play, it's probably the highlight play of the weekend where I believe it was Thomas Bryant that was outside of the restricted area.
Yes.
And basically from a hook shot distance, posterized him. And something that's usually not possible that you can't really do.
The handles that Wembenyama has.
He did a posterizer hook shot.
Yeah, for being 7'4", and the way he could cover so much ground defensively, I mean, the kid is going to be great if he could stay healthy, right? And that's the new thing. The kid will be great. Now, a guy who looked very good on Friday as well, and if you're a Spurs fan, you got to be very excited about this because Wembenyama opens up the floor for a lot of Spurs players to make plays. It's Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell coming into his 4th year, averaged 18.5 points last season. He's only increased his scoring average every single year. On Friday night, he dropped 21 points, 3 assists, 1 block, 22 minutes played. And with Wemby being on the floor, he was left wide open a few times, and Vassell was hitting shots. Vassell was hitting contested shots. I am very high on this 1-2 combo of Wembenyama and Vassell. I think they can be very good. Aiden, stop me if I'm wrong here. I am very overreacting, but I feel the Spurs could be a play-in team.
A play-in? Okay, mate. I have to see it to believe it.
I mean, dude, look what Wemby's doing.
I know,
I get
but
it. It's preseason. You're playing against Spares.
It's
I
his first
understand.
I mean, it's not like the Spurs, it's not like the Tim Duncan thing where the Spurs actually had an established team that just had injuries the previous year.
But
you know what I'm saying?
What if he is this good, where he elevates everybody? I mean, this is what's so
LeBron,
exciting.
I mean, LeBron James, the Cleveland Cavaliers were still like a bottom team his first year.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Maybe I'm just getting a little bit too excited about what I've seen so far through 2 preseason games.
I expect, how many games did the Spurs win? Like 22 or something like that? Or how many did they win?
Last year?
Yeah.
21?
21.
21-ish.
I expect they'll win at least 30 games, like a 10-game increase.
I think that's fair.
Well, that's what I expect. I don't expect the 40 games yet. Now, I'd be happy if they win 40 games,
I'd be happy if they got to 32 or 33. I think that'd be nice. A somewhat contending team. But it's exciting times right now if you're a Spurs fan with Wembenyama. And he actually has me watching preseason basketball, which is something I have never done in my life. Not even during the Duncan era. I've never watched preseason basketball, ever. But I've been watching Wembenyama with intent because my eyes just can't get enough.
He's like this first Spurs player that actually plays with, like, flash.
Yes.
Like, highlight reel.
Yes, dude. And it's insane.
Because Spurs always had that boring moniker. Like, Tim Duncan has some pretty good highlights, but because he was, like, a boring, kind of guy, he didn't really get the spotlight as much as he should have. So
I love it. I love it. So there we go. That wraps up our show today. Appreciate all of you guys texting in this morning. Appreciate Crossroads Clinical Research for sponsoring our show. Alex Weister for coming on. Everybody who listened, we love you guys so much.
Cowboys and Chargers tomorrow night, 6 p.m. pregame, 7:15 kickoff on News Talk KEYS. So make sure you guys tune on in for that. Thank you, everybody out there, for Adin Ducker. Great job, as always. And I am James Espinosa. No more questions. We'll talk to you next weekend.